Hey, what's up guys, it's Jam and RC, and today I'll be showing you a build video of the 22.4 2.0 differentials. And I'm not doing the whole kit because it's pretty much the same as the 1.0, and I'm pretty sure if you're watching this, you'll probably more than likely have already built the 1.0. So I'm just building the 2.0 differentials, and reason being, I saw that the TLR guys were getting some questions a lot about the differential builds, and Frank Root actually did one on the Facebook page for Team OC Racing, and you could check that out, but it's a half an hour long segment. I just thought I'd kind of do it a little bit faster than that, and they haven't posted it on YouTube, so I decided I'll fill that gap. So first off, you want to get all your parts in one area, and reason being for this white napkin, since I'm dealing with a lot of oils, and just to make sure you guys can see everything properly. Alright, so first off, get all of your black oxide parts besides your 4 internal gears. Get your part that attaches to the outdrive, get all those parts. Any part that's black, and just bundle them all up into probably like a napkin per se. And just put them in. Get some motor spray. Oh, I probably should tell you what you guys need. So just get a 1.5 millimeter hex driver and a 0.050 driver. Thread lock, some black grease, oil of your choice. I'm using the stock oil, and some motor spray. I don't have any motor spray right now. I just ran out when I was building the first differential, and I'm now using some electric motor cleaner. So if you can find the motor spray, I recommend using it, especially if you're rebuilding. It does strip down the silicone a lot quicker. Alright, so on with the video. So you want to get a little bit of your motor spray or whatever you got cleaning it. Then you just shoot it a little bit. Give it quite a good dab of it. The motor spray probably would have been a little bit faster, but just working with this right now. And you just want to, you guys probably can't see this obviously, but just work, try to separate some of this stuff sometimes, and just try to work that in just so you can get a good clean on the parts, and just try to get some of that manufacturing residue or oil that they leave on them, just so you could put the thread lock without having to worry about the outdrives coming loose, because that was an actual issue where some people were having the outdrives coming loose, and I believe it's because they didn't properly clean or even clean at all the metal parts. So just do that. These are already partially cleaned just for emphasis or for video purposes. I clean them again, so you might want to go over your stuff a little bit more tactical and stuff like that or whatever. But yeah, just get all your stuff cleaned. As long as they're cleaned, and just let them air dry. Don't introduce any foreign materials like, I don't know, whatever could come off of your breath, or I don't know. But you don't want anything. You want them clean so that when you apply the thread lock, nothing else happens. So what you want to do first, what I like to do is create a bubble. Just put just a dab of thread lock. You can watch where it's going in, and just leave enough where it creates like a bubble. If you guys can see that right there, it's like a bubble on top of it, and that should be good. It should stay there until you're ready to work with it. And it just do that on both out drives. As you can see again, perfect little bubble. Do that on both out drives. Get your 1.5. Yeah, get your 1.5. Yes, again, make sure everything's clean. Try to not have any residue on your hands, such as like oil or stuff like that. And just thread it in just a little bit, not all the way, just so that when you're ready to tighten it on the outdrive shaft, you don't have to be scrambling to try to get everything in one shot. So just leave those until you're ready. Get your diff parts here, your diff housings here. Get the also run a line of or a bead, a thin bead, very thin bead of black grease down in that little part right there. And then you put your O-ring in, and then your metal shield. Try to put the shiny side down so it doesn't scratch the O-ring itself over time, because you do have two sides. One seems to be a little bit more abrasive than one, so try to put the shiny side down. And just repeat that on the other half. And just make sure there's a good seal that it provides a better seal so the silicone itself doesn't leak out after a while. And just a little bead as well. The other one was a little bit more liberal, so I didn't put any on it. So, but this one, just try to put a little bit on the outside of it as well. And then the same case right here, you just put the shiny side down and put those down, or you can keep it in your hand and just poke the gear through. Oh, my bad. Just poke the gear through. Make sure everything's free and working. It is. And the same thing goes for this one as well. Poke the gear through. Sorry if you guys can't see some of these shots. And now we're going to put on the actual outdrive onto the outdrive shaft. So what you want to do is apply a very small amount of pressure, just where you're keeping it together, but not putting pressure on it where you're going to cause it to bind. And you just snug it down just to test it right now. And then you try to wiggle it side to side a little bit and just make sure it has no play when just slightly doing it, and when you're really trying to gain on it, just make sure it has a little, just very little side to side action. So that shows that you're not putting too much pressure on the O-rings. And now you just snug it down. Once you confirm it's where you want it, you snug it down really tight, hoping you apply that thread lock really good. And you just want to make sure you don't have too much bind in there, or any bind at all. You don't want any bind at all in there. So that one's done correctly. And do the same thing over here on this part as well. Just a little bit of pressure, just a slight bit. I'm sure once you do one diff, you'll probably get used to how it should feel, and you should be doing the next one pretty good. And this one is the same thing. Like I said, just don't put too much pressure on it. That way you don't over tension the O-ring, because that can probably cause damage after a while. And so now what you do, you put all your pins in. Give me a little bit of trouble there. And I just place it on my Diff tool. And for those of you who are wondering, what is this? It's actually a Diff tool made by VIKING Design. And they make some pretty cool 3D printed parts, and this is one of them. This is his latest tool that he made, which is actually a Diff tool. As you can see there, it has the part where it holds the diff, or you can either put it there or there. And as you can see, I could fit both diff pieces right there. And if I wanted to, I could lay like a standard ball diff piece right there, and it fits perfectly. You have a lot of screw holes. You have a little holding area where you could put some small screws. These right now are kind of big, so these aren't really representing as well. And you just fit like regular screws in there. It's a pretty cool tool. I'll do an actual video on it just so you guys see. I can show you a little bit better. But yeah, that's the idea of it. And I'll have a link down in the description for it. But what you do, you fill it up with oil. Oh, also, let me put the diff gears in, my bad. So you put these down, the shiny side down. Well, not shiny side down, the part with the shoulder, you put it down. Put them down first. I see the diff says that, but I mean the manual says that, but I'm not sure if it makes a difference. And then you put the part with the indent in it last, according to the manual again. And those just key in pretty easily. Just spin them a little bit and they should go right in. And now I'm gonna cut the video and put the oil in. It's not too much of a process. I'll probably do it on a video, why not? and then cut. So when it settles, I'll go back to the video. So what I want to try to do is get, since it's such a thick oil, I want to try to get into all the crevices or all the spaces that air may want to stay and not have the oil go in. So and also that's why I want it to sit, so it can slowly level itself out. So I'll be back in a second. Once it's leveled out, I'll come back to the video and show you guys how to finish it off. Alright, so my bad, the camera wasn't rolling a while ago. So before, as I was saying, you want to make sure that these two line up, these two pieces line up, which are the gear. Oh, the gears already came off of it, so let's just try to do this anyhow. So you want to match this side with this side right here, and obviously in my case it got messed up, so I'm just gonna try to place them back anyhow, and try to do a few things here at once. Hopefully this works, and it did. So yep, that's it. So what you want to do is try to fit all the screws in at once, and then cross tighten them. By cross tightening them, you'll ensure that the seal is compressed equally, and that reduces the chances of having leaks, if not eliminates them altogether. So you want to get your 5/1000 bit right here, and just begin cross tightening them. And you don't want to crank down one side and then crank down the other and crank down, crank down. Try to get them all to the same level place, and then you begin tightening uniformly. So I'm not snugging them down either right now, just barely, until I start to feel a little bit of tension on the driver, and then stop, and then get everything else where these currently are. So after I've done so, which I'm just about finished with, then I can start snugging them down. So this one I'll snug a little bit, not completely. Start snugging them down good. Just go over them in an X pattern. This is not like regular discs where they're more separated, but it's more of a 2-2 type thing to it. And then you really start cranking them down. Not where you're gonna strip out the screw, but just where you know it's not gonna come apart anytime soon. And that is how you build a TLR diff. And it's smooth. It doesn't have any parts where it feels like it binds. And hopefully I did you guys some justice and showed you if you were having any issues with it. Just make sure that all your parts are in the correct order, and you should be all set. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, feel free to share it. If somebody else needs some help, give it a like, thumbs up, subscribe even. And check out Eric Volkel, hopefully I said his name right, from Viking Designs. And a link will be down in the description to the specific item. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video again, and see you later.